good. If you have any questions, you can ask them now. I'll just let the music play a little bit here. Wholesome video game music intro. Hi Patricia, good to see you. Oh, that's good, Tom Degg. I'm happy you have a lot of questions, Tom Degg. Guy from earlier, you asked me, hey Jamie, what's up? Yeah, Tom Degg asked me some questions in the comment section earlier today, and I almost regretted answering them because I wanted to use them for a stream. I'll actually re-answer one of your questions here on the stream. But yeah, I see you have some questions already. I'll just do a little intro here. I'm all right, but I sort of did a functional overreach lately. So that's a better way of saying that you sort of pushed it too far and burned out a little. But burning out implies that something bad happened. A functional overreach, it was testing where your limit was at, and you got to learn that, and so then you of course had to recover some still. But yeah, I had to recover first from my weekend with Octiholm. That's why I also been a little slow with editing. I have more material, more videos from that weekend, but I kind of overreached in the week even after that, so I've had to chill a bit with just everything. But I'm all right. Let's see. Yeah, well, hey, oh, by the way, I want to say here at the start, Solar Night, the Solar Night store is live. This beautiful logo that a follower named Christoph did. Yeah, Solar Night. There are also Solar Maiden shirts. There are tank tops. There are also the inverted ones, black with white text. There is the most important thing, the coffee mug, of course. And it's not clean because I drank coffee from it earlier today. But yeah, guys, the link to the store is in the description. But yeah, you have questions, so let's get into it. Patricia asked the first question. What is your opinion about full body everyday one working set training that Cole recommends? Does he really recommend that still? I'm not sure. The thing about Cole and his training recommendations is that that was one of the most confusing things to me when I started following him, was that I heard him both say that you can't go to failure with this, you're overtrained, la da 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 da. And I also heard him rant about you must push it to failure in different videos. And I realize now, looking back, that you'll also hear me, I never did any like complete change like that, I think, but you would hear me say different things, even if you looked at my videos a few years back, right? So I understand that you can change your point of view, right? But I was always confused about that, like which one is it, And I'm not sure what he promotes for a training approach these days. But okay, what I do think about it though, full body everyday one working set, I think my question is just why. I'm still wondering why. Yeah, the functional overreach, Jamie. I'm still wondering why do we have to do that? There are so many better ways. Why not train full body 3 days per week instead, and just do a little higher volume and a little higher intensity, and then you have some time to recover between the workouts? I just don't really see the point of it. I don't think it's optimal. I don't even, I say it can work. It could work. I mean, I guess if I try to think what Cole's idea with it is, I guess he just wants to get beginners in the gym a lot and be like, look, you don't have to do so much in the gym, just train your whole body, one working set, But so what I'll say about it is that it's going to be very difficult not to overtrain, I feel like, for the one that's good at pushing themselves. For someone who is not good at pushing themselves, will they even be able to do enough with it, even if they do it every day, Yeah, it could work. I just really don't see the point of it. I can't come up with a situation where I think, yeah, this is the optimal way to do it. Please like the stream, by the way, guys. We actually have quite a few people here. already. So good day, Don. Good day. Good to see you. Um, mm, mm, mm. Tom Dick, what do you think of the idea of freezing in small cubes of liver and then swallow it during the day, just like vitamin pills? Well, I've sort of done that, but what I did was I froze bigger pieces of liver, just like the daily piece. To be honest, I ate too much liver at a point. Like, you don't need to. I ate like 50 grams per day. It's just way too much. Like, it doesn't make sense. How would we ever have access to that amount of liver, you know? And you could probably get too much vitamin A if you keep doing that. So, but yeah, I froze in like pieces in bags. And I took one out the day before, thawed it over the night, you know, and then I cut it into smaller pieces. And I swallowed them not frozen, but with my kefir, Greek yogurt, honey, protein powder, berry thing, you know. I swallowed it like that. But you know, so of course that's a way of cheating to eat the liver. I just think I ate too much and it's fine. But you should at a point start just eating it raw. Just you know, it's actually it's facing the difficult. It's sort of like a cold shower. To be honest, to me, eating the raw liver is much worse than yeah, taking a cold shower. I last week I met several people. I actually have videos when I'm forcing people to eat raw liver, so I myself had to eat quite a bit, and yeah, I got a little tired of it. I did not. I ate it too much. I didn't even. It wasn't like, oh, now I've done it, so I feel more resistant. It was like, ah, I did it too much. I was thinking about 6 grams a day. Yeah, that's probably a more reasonable dose. Like, if you want to eat it daily, you could, of course, what you instead could do is eat more, but like 2 or 3 times per week. But yeah, so doing it frozen like that, it's a hack to avoid the taste. I started it like that, but I think you should, you know, transition away from it. It's kind of badass to eat the liver raw, just as it is. Please like the stream, guys. Um, how much raw honey do you consume every day? I'm not sure how much in total. Like, I don't really measure it. Like, I don't count my calories. I don't measure my food. I don't eat the exact same amount every day. It's intuitive. Maybe 2 to 3 tablespoons, maybe something like that. Jamie Lynn, after watching your Opti breakfast and hearing a little buzz about it, is it optimal to consume protein first at the meal setting and then fat? I don't really think it matters, to be honest. I can't really. The only thing that matters is that if you, to me, to be honest, I want to spike insulin as much as possible since my insulin sensitivity is good. I fast a lot and I eat healthy food, so I want a strong insulin response from the food. But if you don't, though, if you have more problems with that, you're not, you know, not quite as good of a spot health-wise right now. A way of spiking it less is actually to eat the fat and protein first and then the carbs. That's the only thing I can think about, like in the order you eat things. I don't really think there's any. Yeah, I mean, I guess the protein will spike insulin more too than fat, you know, somewhere in between the carbs and the fat. So I guess, you know, if you wanted to avoid an insulin spike or spiking the blood sugar as much as possible, you would start with the fat, then the protein, then the carbs. But putting the carbs last would be the most important thing. Hey, Sebastian Swartling says, hey, what's up? And he had a question, actually, that we can answer here on stream. Cold showers, the morning cold showers, what did the process look like to get there? So I talked about this before. So first of all, like when I started doing cold showers, I guess I did one here and there, just randomly. But I started doing it in connection with a sauna, because if you really push it in the sauna, it's actually, you know, you can even look forward to a cold shower. But even when you're a novice to it, even that is a bit uncomfortable, but it's much nicer to be all heated up, sweating, and going to the cold shower. Then I started doing it sometimes in the middle of the day. And then it was actually when I went to personal training school that I guess I remember I was overtraining too much. I was just I woke up a lot during the night. My sleep was not good because my cortisol was too high because I was training too high volume mainly. And then as a sort of like I need to wake up in the morning, I figured like cold showers will help me. Of course, the best thing would have been to dial back the training, but I hadn't figured it out back this years ago now. But I just decided that for a month, I must do it every morning, you know. And I hated it. I wanted to negotiate myself out of it every time. But I had decided I will go to the coldest water immediately. And I will, then the time doesn't matter first. I will just, if I go to the coldest, even if it's like 3 seconds, that's enough, you know. Then, you know, quickly, you gain resistance quickly. It's easier to stand longer and longer. And then I guess I took breaks from it sometimes after having done it for like a couple months, daily maybe. But then it was kind of as if I had gained the skill, so I could push myself to do it every now and then. But then it was actually during my when I felt had a lower mood at the start of this year. Again, a better way of phrasing it. I was not depressed. I was just in a lower mood. I was not quite as happy as I usually am. Then I really made it a thing, you know, to face the difficult because things were a bit difficult. So I was like, maybe just make it more difficult so it's nicer later on, you know. So earlier this year was when I really consolidated this this habit. I actually did it a lot last summer, but it's much easier in the summer, especially when you had a habit of doing it in the winter time. So in the summer, it's actually quite nice now, to be honest. I take extra cold shower in the evening sometimes to get cool before bed, literally, you know. Now, when it's starting to get colder again, it's never something I look forward to. There's always a little moment of, you know, but now it's just sort of, I finally hit the point where, you know, I will never fail it. I do it every morning now. If there wouldn't be, you know, the occasional thing because something is different about that morning, that would be one thing. But that's kind of what the process looked like. Okay, let's see. And by the way, the Solar Night merch store live, guys. This is a medium, by the way. I'm 5'9" or like 176 or 77 centimeters. It's a medium. I have a small too. It works too. Maybe it's just a little tight right now. Just, you know, and there are the Solar Maiden female versions. My client, Charlotte, actually, she's quite tall. I don't remember exactly, but she's over 170 centimeters. I gave her a medium. That was good for her. But the link is in the description, guys. Beautiful logo, right? I love it. Christoph, cred to Christoph again. Yeah, Dawn asked, why eat it raw? Like, to be honest, some people claim, I guess, that it's better to eat it raw. To me, it's just, I almost think it's more difficult to eat cooked if you wouldn't make like this big stew or something with a lot of spices in it or something. The taste is more intense. So to be honest, it's more gross in a way when you start chewing it really when it's raw, but the taste is less intense. And it's kind of to me at least, it's mostly a kind of an embrace the difficult, be a little crazy, you know, since it doesn't hurt if you get it from a good source to eat it raw. Like, why not, you know? So to be honest, I wouldn't, if someone was cooking their liver, I would never be like, oh, you shouldn't do that, you should eat it raw. I guess someone has an argument for that, but me, not really. How many days per week going to the gym do you think is optimal? See, this is way too general of a question. Tom, I'm glad that you're bringing a lot of questions, but you're the kind of guy that I feel like, what are you doing right now? Why so many questions about these things? Like, because if you were doing more, you would probably know that that's, you know, how many times going to the week is optimal for who, for what purpose, you know? Like it's way too wide of a question. And even for me, it could be as optimal for me to go 4 times as it would be to go 6 times. I would just do my workouts differently. I would have a different program if I did that, but they could both be equally as optimal. But so to try to give you some kind of general answer, for someone who's like ambitious about muscle and strength, I guess, we're talking about, and not only health. Because going to the gym for health reasons, you wouldn't have to do more than like 2 to 3 times. Well, so we're talking someone who's ambitious about making the gains, probably 4 to 6 times, depending. But that's also, are you a complete beginner? Then 4 times is too much, even, or unnecessary, even. Like lots. My complete beginner clients I've usually make them go twice per week to start with. So it depends so much. When you ask like how many days per week going to the gym do you think is optimal, I have to know more about for who, for what purpose. So yeah, that's some kind of sort of general answer. And Tom Degg again, how did you overcome your anxiety? I didn't really. I have I have that tendency within me, but a lot of it, anxiety. It's both inner work in a sense, but facing fears. If you are anxious about things, like my thing that made me the most anxious was stage fright, because I have this. Can you see that my hand is kind of trembling? I have this heritable condition that's I have a baseline slight tremor all the time, and when I got nervous, I got very strong symptoms, and I had this thing within me that I wanted to be doing things like I'm doing now. I know that I'm good at talking or performing to an audience like that, but I felt like blocked from it because I developed this stage fright, and I wanted to blame it all on this condition. Like it's because I have this that I've become this way, but I now understand that it's trauma from my childhood. And yeah, while it was true that I got more visible, like more intense physical effects from it, that wasn't really the core issue. But so when I started having my panic attacks over 4 years ago now, almost any social situation became kind of one of these performance situations for me. So by repeatedly facing this fear over and over, until I gradually taught my nervous system that there's nothing to be afraid of, the things you were afraid of, that people would think I'm a pussy and leave me or something, that didn't really happen. So I reprogrammed myself like that. But it's not that I can't get anxious anymore. Then and I've also developed just this great stress resistance, and 15% on the phone. I hope maybe I can plug it in if it almost dies. But through training, through cold showers, through sauna, through fasting, through meditation, I have developed good stress resistance. That what you're in a cold shower, if you think it's cold, you're not supposed to try to distract yourself if you want to have the most effect. You're supposed to think about how cold it is, but stay in control of your thoughts, not acting on the impulse to want to go out and stuff. You gain control over it. So you see, you can overcome certain situations where you're anxious by just facing them. Face the fear. It's impossible to remove a fear without facing it. Like, the fear response is there to protect you to begin with. Sometimes we've developed these, this defense mechanism. They don't serve us anymore. They might have at one point when we were growing up, but they don't anymore. And now we have to reteach our nervous system. So teach it. It's not dangerous. There's no need to be anxious. But then it's not about overcoming it. It's learning to deal with it, learning to dance with it. And you do this with these tools that I just talked about. Okay. Why exactly do you prefer magnesium biglycinate over malate? Look, man, I'm not the guy to ask about these detailed questions. I know malate. I think the absorption rate is worse, but it's also that there are many different forms of magnesium, and they have different effects. And I just know that biglycinate is the one that's recommended to take before bed. So there's really nothing more to it than that. I am I am not I am the uncommon sense guy, meaning the common sense guy, the human guy. I will go into some science here and there, but I'm not the guy that's going to be like the nerd about every different magnesium supplement. That's just not me. Tom Day, do you think muscle failure is essential for muscle growth? I don't think it's essential. but you should do it. Everyone should do it to some extent. You should be training close to failure, but it's kind of like, if you do the one set training, for instance, like never mind if you do it every day or not. If you just do one working set, you really gotta smash it. Hey GB, what's up? Please like the stream. No, but if you do lower volume, then you definitely have to take it closer to failure, maybe even beyond failure. If you do really high volume, maybe not, So I don't think it's essential. I'll say that I love training to failure. I don't care, all the nerds, they want to bring, but the science says, so the stimulus to fatigue ratio, and I have stuff like that in mind, but I have great results training to failure. I even trained too much to failure at a point. But a good rule of thumb is take at least one working set to failure, unless it's something like a squat, then you don't necessarily, as long it has to be in close enough proximity to failure, right? But yeah, it doesn't necessarily have to be failure on a squat. Like, it's kind of difficult to fail a squat, Let's see. Don, I love cooked liver. Is it that what he's doing? Oh no, it's a thumbs up. Good for you, man. I have nothing against that. I've just hated it when I've cooked it. But I guess I've just kind of fried it. I remember breaking a 72-hour fast. I guess 2 years ago now, and I had fried bacon, and then I fried the liver in the fat from the bacon and ate it with a bacon, thinking, that will disguise the taste. It didn't. Even though I hadn't eaten for 3 days, I couldn't finish all of it. Tom Day, do you think a sunlight alarm lamp would be a great investment instead of a normal alarm? I have not really heard about those. I mean, it depends on how closely it mimics the sun, but this is, I almost got tricked by your question. The best alarm is no alarm. You're supposed to go to bed at a time, so you don't need an alarm. I don't never have an alarm. I wake up. I went up at 3 this morning. It was a little earlier than I would have liked. A slight sleep deficit today, but I usually go up at like 3:30. And I do some work stuff then, of course, but I never have anything scheduled before 5. I have some client calls at 5. So I can talk to Americans in their evening and my very, very early morning. You don't have to go up quite as early as I do, but that's the thing. It's not natural to be woken up by an alarm. Actually, a lot of people have not thought about that, but how natural is it really to not gradually wake up as your body is just well rested enough for light starts coming in on you, but something just being even if you have a nicer alarm sound, it's not natural. So, a sunlight alarm, I mean, it sounds like a cool thing if you could have some kind of sunlight effect, actual sunlight effect from it, but I'd rather you have no alarm and just go out in the sun. Tom Dick says, sorry for asking general questions. We'll try to be more specific next time. Well, that's okay. That's the thing. I'm just trying to help you. I'm trying to help you, as like I can't give you the answer that you need if it's too general, right? So, yeah. Let's see. GB. Always feel better if I wake up before the alarm. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I mean, I can see some people, as you're getting there, you want to have the alarm as a backup or something, but the goal should be to go to bed early enough so you get a full night's sleep and wake up naturally before you have to. You know how nice that is. It's so funny, guys. I used to be the complete opposite to this. I was the guy that had 20 alarms and still slept through all of them because I was, neglecting my sleep, but just my health all over so badly. And now I just love it. So even if I have something really early in the day, like my cleaning lady, that I don't even consider it early with my circadian rhythm now. I have a cleaning lady here every other week, and she comes at 7:30. I never have to have an alarm for that. I'm up. I'm way ahead. I've studied Greek before that. I've maybe written an Instagram post before then. I maybe recorded a video. I've responded to clients before then. It's such a good feeling, and that's a nice thing with having been bad, been worse, or a lot worse. I think so many times I was like, why do I keep doing this to myself? Why do I stay up late and oversleep or undersleep because my alarm wakes me up and I have to go up instead of just going to bed on time? A lot of the things that you do at night, by the way, that keeps you up, you could just do in the morning instead. Like for me, the first few hours of the day is kind of 50-50, some downtime, just browsing a little bit, watching something on YouTube or something, and the other half actual work stuff and that. And I think that's so nice, to have it, not be woken up by an alarm and you have to stress, I have to get dressed, I have to eat breakfast and now wait to work, wake up and take a chill, before work. Much better start of the day, in so many ways. GB, GB, I know who GB is now, because he says I actually had some big problems waking Theo up back in the days. Oh wow, dangerous to have this guy on this in the chat, but I'm happy you're here, my man. Okay, we've run out of questions for now. I'd be happy if you could bring some more. I don't really. Oh yeah, I guess I have one of Tom Diggs' old questions that he asked in a comment section before. I just want to do this. He asked about creatine. He asked, do you recommend taking creatine? And that's also when it's asked by someone who I don't know who it is online. I need to know, where are you at, because like generally, yeah, creatine is the best natural muscle building supplements. It's something that we already have in us that we get through diet, but it's sort of a biohacking to be able to have more by taking it in supplement form. But it's just that, if you're not making gains, it's not creatine that you need to worry about. It's not that you keep doing what you're doing and you take creatine and you make gains. No, creatine just makes it so, basically, so that you might be able to take some sets a bit further, like another rep or something. But you still have to be able to take the set that far, right? It doesn't make it easier to do that. It just slightly, ever so slightly, enhances your performance, But learning, especially for the, when we're not talking about steroids, those kinds of supplements, which can actually give just a huge ass boost even to shitty training practice, and we're talking about us naturals, like the main thing, the number one thing is proper training practice. That's the most important thing. Then, nutrition and sleep, it's hard to say which one, because if you don't eat anything, you're not making gains. If you don't sleep, you're not making gains. But these things are going to be much more important. The sunlight, if you're not getting sunlight and you take creatine, you're done. It's a paraphrase kind of what Stan Efferding says about sleep. Like, if you're taking creatine and get 5 hours of sleep per night, you're a fucking idiot, is what he says. So, do you see what I'm saying? You should always, when you think about supplements, you need to have a solid foundation with good training practice, good enough diet, you sleep enough, make sure to get the sunlight, you manage stress well. Then, absolutely, creatine can be an addition to this, but it's not like, you're not really missing out on something if you're not taking it. It's just might be a slight, ever so slight boost. Jamie Lynn, I love my sunlight alarm. Well, can you tell me what that is exactly? I'm curious. I'm trying to think, is it like a lamp that mimics the sun somehow? Or is it... I'm thinking of a curtain being pulled in your apartment tied to a clock or something so that you get sunlight on you. Let's watch the battery here, actually. Okay, 11%. If sometimes, these battery meters, sometimes they're not reliable, especially at the end. So if I disappear, you know what happened. But can I make them charging happen somehow? Please, guys, if you have any more questions, keep them coming. And super chat, by the way, that's always nice when you want to express your appreciation monetarily. So I want to remind you of that option. Where is that? There. That one. See if we can do this. Oh. And the Solar Night store, by the way, guys, live. You can see a link in the description. Oh, it's a little hot in here actually. I don't want to open though because it's too noisy outside. Like open the balcony door. Is it charging? No. So I have a new PC finally, so my editing options should finally be better. It's just been like when I've had all this material from my visit to Optiholm, it's just been terrible trying to, think. It's because I have so many files and have to do so much editing on this computer. It's been a nightmare. So this will be good. It's been funny. It's like I've been getting confirmations from God or from universe or whatever. Like I booked, I was gonna get new glasses maybe because they were at one place they gave like free whatever, when you go check your eyes. And as soon as I booked it, I lost my glasses that I have. So it was like God was like, I agree, you should get new glasses. Same thing with a computer. I've been thinking I need to get a new computer in general, but I'll get it before I go to Greece. And then my laptop broke down, and it was again like, yes, you need a new computer. I've set a date now, by the way, guys, for moving to Greece. It's pretty much, a little less than a month, I guess. November 14th is when I go there, so it's gonna be cool. I booked a place to live today. Come on. Did a laptop die on me? This is no good, guys. You're not bringing questions right now, and I can't charge. Like, is my internet working? I think so, right? Can't charge. You see, I'm talking about my new computer, and maybe I left it on without the charging. I don't know. Okay. We're gonna find out. Oh yeah. Yes. Okay, but it's gonna charge so slow on this one. Sometimes I see you, but charge first. Yeah. What do you mean I see you? Yeah. Oh, because I said that about the internet. Do that. Do you have any question, Don? That would be helpful. I'm looking at a list of some video ideas. Maybe I'll just do a video, Well, I can talk about a little bit in general, something I've realized lately through my clients, that a lot of what this cable is no good because I see it keeps connecting and disconnecting. I realized through my clients that a lot of what I coach is actually mindset, like it depends always on the individual, like how much we end up talking about, kind of actually, some people you focus more on the technicalities of things, like training and diet like that. But with a lot of people, they know a bunch of this. It's just that they, for some reason, fail to get it going, fail to keep consistent and that. And it's like, it seems to be my strong suit to start digging around on why and changing their mindset about it. I talked to someone today about it, that people have a hard time differing between events that happen and their story about what happens, right? And so you have to reframe it a lot. Like, for instance, people it's a lot that comes from childhood. You had harsh demands on you in your home. Your parents, like, they never validated you. They always, if you did good, that was just expected. And if you did wrong, you need to hear, you need to be perfect. A lot of us have been taught that we need to be perfect. And so we've internalized that. And so when we want to lose weight, for instance, stick to a diet for a bit, and then we have one slip up, we feel like we failed because we are supposed to be perfect. And so might as well just go off the routine, might as well just binge more, might just go off the diet completely. but if the story is not that you have to be perfect, but the story is I'm moving towards better habits. I'm not quite as good at this as I want to be yet, but I'm trying my best. And it's okay that I'm not perfect. I know, in fact, I know I'm not going to be perfect. I'll try to stick to this diet plan that I have the best that I can, but it's okay if I can't manage to. So that's a lot of what I do. I've seen now how I've changed a lot of people's just way of looking at themselves. And yeah, that's actually what I coach. So, hey, Phil D has showed up. Come on, guys, support to you. Life is not a free ride. Well, I appreciate that, Phil. Someone had to say it right. No, I appreciate that a lot. It was nice talking to you. We talked, me and Phil, a while back. Phil is a guy that, for instance, would have to work on his mindset mainly. I'm not going to talk too much about you, Phil, of course, here. That you may do that if you want to, but just because we were talking about the mindset. Yeah, it's so interesting, guys. I'm trying to come up with another example of the story, but yeah, I think I talked about that in another video about this parallel universe Theo that is exactly like me, only had a weed problem, or that's the story he had about it. And so many times that Theo too, he was like, now I've finished the weed, tomorrow I go to work, and then I'm not gonna buy anything more. I'm quitting now. And then when he after work found himself on his way to go get it, he beat himself up. I failed, I didn't do what I said I was going to do. Like, hopeless. I can't quit this, But so when he changed the story to like, okay, apparently, I'd like to be able to get rid of this, but apparently I can't just do it like that right now. Well, I just let it be like that, then I don't obsess so much about it. Just let it be like that. Because what I notice is that when you set this expectation on yourself, it's like you're starting a battle with yourself, right? But now there's no, because I'm allowing it now, there's no battle to be started. And then there was space just for this thing to appear that, you know what, I actually now don't really feel like getting anymore. And then when I let it happen, when it could happen, not me. Sorry, I get confused. The parallel universe Theo. Then was when it worked out. Give it. Haha, my girl just asked, have you blonded your hair, his hair? Just, I love that you spell the word just phonetically with a D. It's just a J-U-S-T. But this guy is Swedish too. But no, I have not actually. I just embraced the sun pill, and I guess I had lemon juice in my hair sometimes in the summer because that's supposed to bleach it more. But I didn't go to the barber and like dye my hair. I'm actually thinking, I've always wanted to do that as sort of a troll, not because I think it would look so much better, but just be super blonde. Because like you, GB, he is basically as blonde as it gets, It would be kind of a funny thing to do before I go to Greece, but I don't know. I always speculate and joke about it, and I end up never doing it. We'll see. But no, GB's girl, I have not actually went and dyed my hair. It's nice though. I have good hair, right? It was kind of funny, by the way, in the store yesterday. I don't remember how it came up. Like I know I chat to the people working there, especially one lady that I just developed a good relationship with. Somehow it came up something about losing the hair, and I was like, yeah, I wouldn't want to do that. And this lady next to me, like, oh, the guys and the hair, you're so insecure about it or something. And yeah, I don't know. I don't even recall the. Yeah, the funny thing is, she said that she was dating a guy that was obsessing about losing his hair, and she was like, "Well, we like you for who you are." And I'm like, "Okay, so you're still with that guy?" She's like, "No." That's funny. Oh, she says it looked good. That silver shampoo does a job. Stop spoiling. I guess I've used the silver shampoo. It wasn't a secret, to be honest, but I just forgot to say it. But it's funny, this guy, he could be dropping a bunch of shit on me, Jamie Lynn. Oh, Self. Hello. Always confusing for the one just watching after the fact. It's someone that's called themselves Self. So it's not me all of a sudden just, oh, Self, watching myself on the screen or something. Um, okay, Jamie Lynn. I'm a little behind on the stream. The light alarm ramps up when you want to wake up. It's strong lumens, also used for seasonal depression to substitute as light therapy that mimics sunrise. Okay. Um, I'm just curious to what extent. I know because I know the solarium or whatever it's called in English, they tan you, but it's not the same as the sun. They actually give you some amount of vitamin D, I understand. But you can almost see on someone in the winter that doesn't really, the typical fitness person that isn't really healthy. They have a shit diet, probably too stressed, probably drink too many energy drinks, probably don't sleep well, and they go to the solarium, they just look, it's not that, shine to the skin. They just look browner, but not really tan, if that makes sense. So I'm just curious. I would think the red light would be the best thing to have in the morning because that's actually the light we get from the sun mainly in the morning, right? Um, yeah. Hello, Self. Do you have any questions? Uh, Person in the chat called. Oh, yeah. See there. But take Don's question first. I often feel anxiety for no reason. Any tips? No reason. Like, so what do you feel anxious about? Like, what is it just an uncomfortable feeling in general like that? I mean, I would go, do you know what I would do actually? I would meditate a lot, sit with anxiety and try to get to the root of it because it isn't for no reason. There is a reason. You just don't know the reason yet. And that's been a thing for me sometimes when I've been anxious and I'm not sure why. I'll just see how this charging is working. I guess it keeps the phone alive at least. Um, there is always a reason. Anxiety is most of the time, or it is. I'm better at saying this in Swedish, but it is a like worry of the future and a feeling of lack of control because the anxious person wants to have control desperately, and that's why they feel anxious when they don't. So you gotta get to the bottom of it. I've had to do this sometimes, and sometimes it can be confusing. Sometimes you know what you feel before you know why you feel it, right? So for me, it's been, I have certain things I won't go into now that have made me anxious before. And so when I felt anxious, my go-to is like, oh, it's this thing. But then when I take a step back, I'm like, but no, it just can't be that thing now because no, no, when I think of it, it isn't that thing. And I meditated on it, I sat throughout the day, and then at some point I figured out what it is, And the anxiety, just letting it be there is what you got to do in the end. Like when you understand what it's about, it's a little bit, because it's an uncomfortable feeling to feel as if it's for no reason. Like I'm just feeling like this for no reason, but there is a reason. So when you figure it out, that gives a sense of relief. It gives you some control like that. But then it's just you can't just erase the feeling. You have to learn to overcome it, learn to be fine with not being able to control everything, right? Just sitting with it. It takes a lot of practice. To not cover up anxiety with just whatever it might be, distracting yourself, just playing video games, watching TV series, meeting people, but it's not really to be social, it's just to distract yourself, drugs, drinking, all these things. It takes a lot of courage to actually face the anxiety, sit with it and figure it out. Do the opposite of fleeing it. Go straight towards it, And then there's the little hack that anxiety and excitement are the same in the nervous system. So if you do something, like train could be one thing, but like I did, went out and danced, you can actually convert it into excitement. But if there is a true actual reason for you feeling anxious, then of course that won't go away, but you can at least get some relief from the anxiety for a while. Your home tour. You're looking at the home, bro. It's like a one room apartment. It's not much to show here. Um, just a feeling. Yeah, but it is a feeling, but it has a reason. That's the thing. No feelings are there for no reasons, no reason at all. And then, of course, you could feel something. It could even be some anxiety is even due to nutrient deficiencies. I can't say that I know off the top of my head what nutrients it would be, but a lot of vegans have experienced anxiety, and just when they reintroduce meat, I guess there's a lot of B vitamins. It has just gone away, so it can be physical too. But you see, there is a reason always still. Do you use any skincare? I do not. Or like, I sweat a lot. That's among the best things you can do. May it be through exercise or being out in the sun. Obviously, now in Sweden, you don't really sweat much out in the sun if you're not moving. Sauna, this is going to be great. Nutrition, the skin, that's the funny thing. Skincare, I'm not saying that there's nothing. You could, some natural oils or something might be able to do something, but the skin, it's an organ. It's of course an expression of the inside of you, like what goes into you. So sun exposure, sweating, and just nutrition like vitamin A, collagen, things like this are going to be the most important for the skin. So I get the question about my hair and skin a lot if I do, but I barely do anything, like my hair, now I've used this silver shampoo to just make it a little bleach from that, but I haven't, before that I hadn't used shampoo in over a year, I think. I had taken some soap at some point, I think, but yeah. It's more about what I put in my body than what I put on my body, if you understand. Patricia, it's hard to fix the problem if you don't know the cause. Journaling helped me tremendously with recognizing my feelings because I can see it more clearly, if that makes sense. Yeah. Also trying to be more present doing things like focus on your feelings, try to recognize what causes anxiety. 100%. Like writing it down or talking about it with someone if you can. You know how sometimes you almost don't know what's up, but as you start opening up or writing, it sort of falls into place like, yeah, that's it, because we think sometimes that we are very verbal in our thoughts, but we aren't necessarily all the time. And so actually taking it out of you, may that be in writing or talking about it, will help a lot. Like sometimes I do the thing I call mind dumping with some friends, when you just you could meet someone and talk, of course, but if you're far away, do the voice message, and you just kind of, I'm feeling like this, I'm not sure why, I guess this has happened and this has la 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 la. And then maybe you find, just by talking about it, you come up with the answer on your own, or you will get some input from the other person, and yeah, that's right, because so absolutely. And what did you say more? Also trying to be more present, doing things like focus on your feelings, try to recognize what causes. Yeah, exactly. And that's what I mean with like meditating. Is actually when I meditate the most has been when I'm anxious, like, because I hate the feeling, I don't like feeling that way, but it's either facing the problem or running from it, and running from it is just putting it up to later, difficult now or difficult later. So the difficult now would be to go straight into the feelings and thoughts and figure out what the heck is going on here. And I actually, meditation and praying is kind of the same for me, or I'll do both at the same time. And I actually ask God for relief many times. And I'm like, I'll do my best anyway. I always promise that, but I'd be able to do even better if I give me peace, give me some clarity. And sometimes it's granted. Self. I'm live in Austria. Yeah, I guess he's I live in Austria. As you know, weather is not good here. Always rainy. Not always, but it's rainy. So sunshine it's difficult what I can use for skincare. Austria. Did I say Australia? I was thinking Australia. You say it's rainy. Isn't that's where it's really hot, right? Okay, in Austria, always raining. So sunshine is difficult. What can I use for skincare? But yeah, I mean the sun has an effect anyway. But yeah, it's in the winter. It's rainy. It's you naturally get less sun then. But what can you use for skincare? You can use the other things I say. Eat a good diet, eat liver, eat collagen, eat bone broth, you know. Yeah, sweat a lot, do the sauna. It's like, this is not a cosmetic channel, you know, this is a health channel. Like, you know, the reason that my hair and skin looks good is because I'm healthy, not because I have this rigorous beauty protocol or anything, you know. So I'm sorry if that answer doesn't satisfy you, but that's all I got for you. Patricia says, exactly. I guess we've run out of stuff here right now. Yeah, I mean, I try to push these for an hour at least every time. So if you have any more last questions, please let me know, guys. Yes, I can remind you, or new viewers, we have the Solar Night store is live. So you want to be rocking it. They do have the Solar Maiden shirts as well. Link is in the description. They are inverted. They have the inverted one, black with white. Takes the white swords then, of course, too. And the little mug. I don't know why I think it's so funny that I have this mug, you know, but I do. Yeah. I can, yeah, no one asked, but I can tell you, I can make a video about this too. What I will take after this, my sleep. Oh, wait, you said something. Actually, I didn't mean it like that, but I work most of the time when it's sunny. So thanks for the answer. Okay. Yeah, and that's the thing too. You should. I always tell when I go to the grocery or when I'm buying food, I always ask if it's a nice day, like how long are you working for? And if it's longer, I'm always like, oh, I was hoping you would get some sunlight, you know. And I've actually made, I've made some of them take a little walk when they have a break outside, because you know, of course, more would be better, but we're talking like just general health and for the skin. Just getting the minimum dose is good. So if you can get like at least 10 minutes at the start of the day, the red light from the sun, that's great. If you could get, you know, ideally half an hour in the middle of the day would be great, but it's not always possible. But it's again, you know, don't give up on it just because you can't be perfect. See that you have some kind of ideal here and do your best with it. But I'm sorry if I misunderstood what you said before. Yeah, I was gonna say my sleep protocol now, supplement wise. Actually, of course, again, I would say it's always like being healthy, you know, managing stress, training, exercising, just using energy throughout the day. So you're actually tired, you know, and getting the sunlight, the morning sun being the most important thing to set your circadian clock so your body just understand what time of the day it is. That would be the most important things. But I've now made a sleep stack kind of with supplements. So I use theanine, which I use in the morning too with the coffee. Yeah, I guess 200 to 400 milligrams of theanine, inositol, like 1.5 grams, glycine. I take 5 grams, but it would depend. You could take like 3 to 5 grams, and magnesium biglycinate. I must say, I feel like it helps with improving both like when I go to sleep, especially the glycine, I feel actually mellows me out, helps me fall asleep faster, but actually improves sleep quality. So there's something no one asked for, a little sleep supplement protocol. And I also, like right now, because I'm streaming, I don't, but I use my blue light blocking, my biohacking glasses. Where are they? Well, why not have them, I guess. Welcome to Biohacking Tonight with me, Theo. Actually, there is more sunlight in my fridge than there is outside here in the Faroe Islands. Rooney 86 says. That's not really true, though. You know, the sun, I see your point, but the sun does have effects on you even when it's cloudy. You know, it's just not quite as strong. So it's again, just because it's not optimal. I remember you Faroe Island guy, but you know, don't give up on it just because circumstances aren't great. Like, you know, here in the winter, I will fortunately be going to Greece in a month. But here in the winter, it's terrible too. But what I did, for instance, when I did personal training school, which was in the middle of the winter, on our we had an hour lunch, and I could have trained then, which I guess I did a few times. But I usually put it up until later to go out on the lunch and get sunlight. It's important. Very important. Yeah, we're running out of questions. Please like the stream, guys. You haven't. Kind of few likes on the stream. Kind of rude, actually, guys, to be watching and not liking. You're indirectly saying, I want to watch, but I don't like you. I'm hate watching, or at least neutral watching. I don't like, but I watch. Yeah. I saw this amazing. Do you guys know Wes Watson? GP Penitentiary Life. Great role model, that guy. But I saw this great post from him on Instagram recently. I was probably going to trigger someone when I say this. The guy said that the people that have the biggest ego are the people, or on social media, that have the biggest egos are the ones that are on there but not posting anything themselves. And it's true, like you want to be on the social media. Apparently you want to see things, but you're not posting anything yourself, and you probably have this great story as to why, but it is a lot of the time that you're afraid of being seen, afraid of the risk of putting yourself out there, the risk of being criticized, and that's it. My mom, for instance, she thinks that I'm so full of myself, that I post, I talk so much about myself. It's like, and who am I supposed to talk to? All of this is based on my philosophy, my story. I take examples from my life, or of course other people's stories too, when that makes sense. But I'm sharing myself completely, and I always talk about the things that I've done wrong, the way I was a loser previously in life, So from my point of view, this is not an ego show. Look at me, how fucking great I am, But it's of course because my mom is still afraid of putting herself out there like that. Patricia said, I liked it before you even started. Like what? Like what did you like before I even started? That's interesting. And also LMAO. Please say that. I would like to know what you mean by that before the stream is over. Because that's the thing, when you comment, I liked it. I don't know what it I was talking about, Oh, you liked the stream before I start. Oh, wow. That's sweet of you. You're setting a great example for the other people. I appreciate that, Patricia. Rooney 86. My secret is because I'm fat and lazy. Your secret to what? Your secret to why you have more sunlight in your fridge? Is it just your experience? You don't even mean the light from the fridge. It's just like when you open the fridge, it's like, "Wah," like the sun is shining, a hallelujah moment. Is that what you mean? I love the sun, guys. It's starting to get so low, the sun now. It's a problem. I have to go further and further away to get my morning sunlight, this is going to be great. I'm streaming on the phone today, but I think I'm going to be able to run OBS on this computer, like streaming software, without the computer lagging. That was the problem on this shit computer in front of me, like a laptop and then an actual stationary computer. It didn't work. It became too laggy. But then I will actually be able to bring up clips next to me here on the stream and stuff. I want to show you some of the stuff I do in the morning out in the sun sometimes. I've done this, just playful thing. I've gone out in the sun and I've taken all the leaves, and I stand in the sun without a shirt and I take all the autumn leaves and go like, lovely, connecting with nature like that. Okay, guys, we've gone for an hour. I feel like the chat is a little dead. Quite some people watching, but yeah, we've gone for an hour. I'll take my little sleep protocol, start winding down, and go to bed in an hour. I go to bed at 8, just so you know, guys. Thank you, Phil D, if you're still sticking around for the super chat. Yeah, thank you guys for the questions. It was a decent stream after all. This will be the standard time. Oh, this is the last thing I can say. I can announce it now. In 2 weeks, next week there will be a stream, but the weekend after there won't be, because I will be doing a fast, and a very special one. It's going to be a kind of a throwback fast to dry fast I did on my summer house on the island, for those of you who've been with me for that long, or if you've gone back to watch it. But it's not going to be a dry fast, but it's going to be a semi-dry fast. It's going to be stimulant free. I'm going to be using the sauna and not hydrating throughout the first half of the day. And then, like 4 or 5 hours before bed, I am going to hydrate again. And then I repeat that. But I actually be leaving my phone, or I might bring a phone without like a SIM card in it, so I can just record some videos, but I'm going to be offline actually. Like it's going to be an introspective, terrible, stimulant-free fast out on the island. Yeah, so that's going to be, we'll see. I'm not going to put the pressure on myself that I must do videos from that, because I want to disconnect as little technology as possible, really. But if I feel like it, then I might as well. But otherwise, of course, I'll just tell the story of the fast or something like this, But yeah, it's going to be cool. It's kind of a reset before going to Greece. Push down the stimulant addiction, because I'm not going to be able to buy snus there anyway, Push it down. It's sort of a mental reset. Sitting with my thoughts and thinking about the future for 3 days, not eating. And that will be cool. So thank you for this time, you guys. I will see you in videos next week and at the same time next Saturday. Have a good one, guys. Peace.